It's been 4 years since I moved here to the Ozarks to set up a new life in the woods. I came here after leaving South Louisiana nearly a year when my wife passed because I needed a fresh start, especially after the challenges I endured after her death. I relocated on family property on top of a mountain, mostly because there was no other place to go, and it was during the time of lockdown madness. I felt like I needed to find a place that was safe and a bit more isolated. Now, I spent a miserable winter living in my sister's old trailer on the property, mostly because of burned out wiring and a lack of insulation, and it was really rough trying to keep warm. So I decided to settle in and build myself a cottage, a place to find some solace and quiet. And I also knew I was going to have to do it alone. Having built 4 other buildings in my life, I felt confident enough to take on this project. But I also knew that lumber prices were getting outrageously high, and I would have to be savvy about obtaining materials that I could afford. Now, since I like rustic building, I decided on a modest cottage, planning the easiest way to construct it with materials that I could get locally. The design I decided on was to build a 16 by 24 foot wood frame building, including a spacious sleeping loft. I also wanted a wood stove, a small kitchen, a bathroom with a tub and shower, as well as a small walk-in closet. And I also wanted a porch. Since I knew it would take at least a year to build, I chose to start in the middle of the winter between snowfalls, mostly because I wanted to be able to move in before the next winter, and I had to do some clearing first before laying out the floor structure. Truthfully, it took some time to get it square and level, though I must admit it didn't turn out perfect. But as they say in the South, it's good enough for who it's for. I was already in my early 60s when I started this project. I began by purchasing a pickup truck load of 2x8s and 2x6 boards. It was enough to build the foundation. Now, I must admit, I was inspired by a couple who had built several small cabins themselves, and I found them on YouTube. Their names are Dave and Brooke Whipple. They present a simple building method that really appealed to me, and I actually watched several of their videos, and this helped me begin my own project. I highly recommend watching their channels, which you can find on YouTube, called Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods. Dave walks you through, step by step, how he built an off-grid cabin, and it's really entertaining and informative to watch. So let me show you some photos that I took during my build, and you can see how I tackled this project alone, from start to finish. The only part I couldn't do by myself was constructing the roof. So I ended up hiring a 3-man crew to do that for me. I purchased the materials and I told them what I wanted and basically contracted them to do the labor, which they actually completed in less than 3 days, and it only cost me $800. Not long after the roof was finished, I was working on the inside insulation and I suffered a falling accident. It was about 5 months into the build, and one day the ladder I was standing on slipped in a pile of sawdust. The ladder slipped and I fell 8 feet, landing on my left foot. It was a serious injury and took 2 months to recover. So long story short, most of the summer of 2021, I wasn't able to build. By the early fall, I had recovered enough to start working again. By this time, I was mostly concerned about getting the building far enough along because I wanted to move in. That winter, I roughed it without a bathroom or running water through the entire winter of 2022. But I did have a wood heater, which helped out a lot. Then, when spring rolled around in 2022, I finished getting the ceiling boards installed with the help of the carpenters again. They came in with some scaffolding and nailed up the rough-cut 1x10 boards that only cost me 99 cents a foot. Now, the overall cost of this building was only around $18,000. And this included everything, not only the building materials, but the siding, insulation, the electrical wiring, plumbing, even an instantaneous hot water heater. I was able to get bathroom fixtures, kitchen cabinets, paint, as well as what it took to finish the inside walls. As you can probably tell, my life here is quite simple. And that kind of simplicity comes with a different kind of luxury than most people can ever realize. My utility bill is less than $80 a month, and I am hooked up to rural water. And though it's definitely not the preferred lifestyle for most people, those of us who value simplicity and independence, it is a means of tremendous freedom and direct communion with real life. I also have a 300-gallon underground cistern. It's an ideal way to store extra water in case the power goes out. This cottage allows me to enjoy simple cooking with only a butane stove. And I have a kitchen sink and a small refrigerator as well. If you put your mind to it, you too can build your own tiny home and realize the deep joy and satisfaction in having a paid-for home and minimal bills. Peace be with you.